Can you guys hear me okay? I don't know if I have the comments on. I'm gonna grab my computer really quick. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but my machine did not come today. I wanted to get on a little early, so that is why I try to get on as early as I can for you guys. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Hi everybody. Who's here? Let's see. I always think this is a touch screen and it's not. Hi from Surprise. Hi from Scottsdale. We're on opposite sides of town, but that's okay. California is not too far away either. Trust me, this is probably not going to be a super long live like normal because I have been under the weather since about Friday night, I'd say. I had my second COVID shot on Thursday, and then Thursday I was okay, Friday I was okay until like Friday night, and then it literally like hit me. And I had to miss a bachelorette party on Saturday. I was so sad about. I had to like, I haven't worked at all, so I have so much work to do. But I'm finally feeling better. Hi Monique, thanks for joining, first timer. Angela, you just put the @ sign and then their name, however it's written on here in the comments, and then they'll be able to see it highlighted, but nobody else will. So you might think you're doing it wrong, but you aren't. Yeah, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I get migraines anyway, so I didn't know if it was from the shot or not, but I mean, it's just coincidence that I got the shot, and then also it was a migraine on top of other things, so I think I'm blaming it on the shot. Yeah. My husband didn't feel anything, which is good because he was able to take care of the kids and stuff. So that helped a lot. But yeah, I have not been in the shop, but tonight we are basically just doing a regular live, and I have a lot of inventory to do. So the local shop that I'm in, I have to give her all of my updated inventory the week of the 26th. So I have a lot of inventory to sew up for her. Right here in front of me, I don't think you guys can see, but I have already like pre-sewn like all of my, I make them in piles. and then I label them whatever size they are, and then I just stick it underneath. I can show you guys if you want to see that. So let me just show you. Whoop. So like right here, I have them like this, and then I just put them by size. There's a couple different patterns in here that I sew up. I just sew them together and put them all in a pile, and then I basically do that until I'm ready to like complete them. Now you guys are all everywhere. Okay. Whoop. So that's what I need to finish tonight. And then I have a couple orders that need to go out in the morning that I need to finish as well. Over at the table, I have tons and tons of bibs and burp cloths that I need to sew. They're already pre-cut. I just need to sew them together. So I don't know what I'm going to get through tonight, but I'm just going to kind of work my way through it and see what I finish. I also have to do matching loveys and blankets. So I have all the material out. Some of it's cut, some of it needs to be cut, but I have all the patterns out that I want to give to the shop. So that's nice. It's already all preset. Yeah, I know. That's what I've been waiting for. So it was supposed to come today. So I made space for it. I cleaned out an area. I was so excited. It was supposed to be scheduled to be delivered today. And then I looked at the tracking, and now the tracking says Wednesday. So it's coming from Canada. So I haven't had much of a standard, I guess, just because of the border, and just shipping is taking forever coming from there. So it's okay. I'm excited for it, but I'm just gonna let it play its course. And then I'm going to, I'll probably do either a video on that. There's a fly in here. Or a live when I get that machine. So stay tuned for that. I'll post it so you guys know. The website is not user-friendly and frustrating for me. Yeah, okay, so Angela, just be patient with it. It's so hard in the beginning, but once you get like your main listings down for, so here's an example, like bummies. I do bummies, I do rompers, I do leggings, I do headbands. So basically all of your basic listings, once you get those in there, you can copy the listing instead of having to redo the whole thing over each time. And then just change your pictures, your title name, and a little bit of your description. I use my same description on all my leggings, my same description from one bummy listing on all the bummies. I just change out the key title word. So if I'm doing cactus and then the next one's a bear, you just want to change out that word. So get all of your major listings in and then just copy and paste, and then it'll go by really quickly. And now whenever I add a new product, like I added my turtle print today, I added all of the, the romper, the bummies, the leggings, the headbands, the skirt, and I'll be adding a blanket once I get that in. So I had to add all those listings today, and in the beginning it was a nightmare because I didn't know you could just copy and paste it. And so today it literally took me like 5 minutes to upload all those listings and just change a couple pictures or upload the pictures. So you'll get the hang of it. Hey, Sarah. Thank you all for looking at my website, and whoever did join up for the subscription. I'm only going to be doing it. I'm not going to bother you guys because I know I hate when I sign up for one and they just, pester you or keep sending you emails. Like, I am not one to like a bunch of emails. So I'm just going to do like a monthly email. And it's basically just going to show you guys either the print of the month or if I have a sale going on or whatever. So each month I'm going to have something different. So the plan is, like, don't quote me because everything always changes, but my plan for now is to do one print a month. So have that be like a print of the month, and then have like different sales on different items of that print throughout the month. And then 4 times a year, I'm going to do an exclusive print. So this quarter is pretty much already gone. So I'm going to start fresh with next quarter, which will be, I'm going to let the turtle one run its course for a little bit because it's, I thought My thought in the beginning was to have the website up in January. That's what it was supposed to happen, and it didn't. So now we're kind of just backtracking a little bit, but 4 exclusives a year, and then a print of the month every month, or a sale of the month, or whatever. I'll just kind of like go through it at that time and see what I feel is best. Certain point, and then the next page that came up said page not working. Aw, yeah. I know, it's so frustrating, but just stick with it. I promise it'll make you happy in the end. Like, even though I have my own website, I'm still keeping Etsy. I mean, Etsy does charge a lot of fees and, you know, this and that and whatever, but it's basically like good marketing. So until you get your business completely like up and running and you have a good customer base, Etsy's really good for you. So when you venture out into your own website, it's, you know, you have to rely on the SEO and people to come and find you, or rely on those customers who are going to come back and order from you again. So it's a lot of relying on, you know, your customer base. So Etsy is really, really good for that. And so I'm not giving Etsy up just because I have a website. I'm still going to continue using Etsy. I'm just not going to pay for ads and stuff like that because I already have the the customer base that I want. So if I end up wanting like more, then maybe I'll go back and do ads again or whatnot. But at the moment, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to be focusing on my actual website. How often do I clean my machines and change my needles? So on this machine, I use this all day, every day, and it builds up a lot of debris because I'm working with a lot of like fleece and the cotton. Even though it doesn't shed that much, the amount of times that I use it, I need to clean it. So it depends on how often you're sewing. So with my machine, specifically this one, I need to clean it right now so I can kind of show you guys what I do. I pretty much clean this machine every morning before I start working, and then I work throughout the day, and normally I wouldn't clean it until tomorrow morning, but since I'm doing a live with you guys, I can go ahead and do that now. That way then I don't have to do it in the morning. But so this machine I do every day. Needles I don't change every day. It just depends on my stitch out. So if I notice it's maybe skipping a little bit or it's not looking as neat and tidy, then I'll switch my needle. And I always switch them at the same time, both of them. Unless one breaks and the other doesn't, then I'll just switch that single needle. But if I'm going to switch out both of them, then I can keep track better on just both of those needles are nice and fresh, because you don't want one needle to be dull and the other to be a super fresh needle. I always like them to be both brand new needles. I always keep a stock up pile back here. I have them everywhere, so it just kind of depends though. If you don't sew that often, then I would just, you know, just pay attention to how it's sewing, and if you think it doesn't look as nice, then change your needle. As far as cleaning goes, I would probably clean your machine at least once a week if you're using it quite frequently. If you're just like a random sewer, you don't really use it that much, then just whenever you feel like it looks dirty, or like I can see the debris on top of my, I don't know what that thing's even called. The thing that goes back and forth. Not my cutter, but the other thing. It has a lot of debris up on it, so I need to clean it. That's what I always look at. Hi everybody. Is it possible to get information where you got your multi-needle machine? Yes. So I got my multi-needle from sewingmachinesplus.com, and they actually don't sell the exact machine that I have. There are other ones that are similar to it. I'm currently researching which ones would be best compared to the one I have, and not comparing as in like quality better, but just the same kind of machine as mine. I know that the Ricoma EM1010 is pretty similar to the one that I have. It's just opposite. So wherever their 10 needle is, my 1 needle is. So it's complete opposite. I do have an affiliate link through sewingmachinesplus.com. So if any of you guys are interested in any of the machines they have, because they do pretty much everything. They have sewing machines, multi-needle machines, quilting machines, standard machines, industrial, the list goes on. So you can buy supplies there. I buy all my supplies from them, except for like my thread and stuff I get at All Stitch. But if you guys have any questions on any like certain machines or like a serger or cover stitch, please just message me. I've had like a handful of people message me today on these two machines specifically. And Sewing Machines Plus does sell these machines. I know I have them linked in my description under Amazon, but I looked and they do sell them on sewingmachinesplus.com as well. And if you're seriously interested in buying one, please let me know, because I can give you my link and a little discount code, so it'll help both of us at the same time. And you know, any discount is good. So please, please, please message me so I can help you get that little discount. No, Sarah, I just said I did not get it. I was so excited to get my machine today, but the tracking says it's coming on Wednesday. So hopefully it comes on Wednesday. Okay, Maria, just message me. And I think I actually, before this live, if you look in the description, I'm pretty sure I linked it in there. So if you follow that link I named it Cover Stitch Machine. There's two different ones though. There's the Amazon one, and then there's also the one on Sewing Machines Plus. It's personal preference. If you want to order on Sewing Machines Plus, message me and we can talk about that. If you want to get it through Amazon, that's up to you as well. It just depends on how fast you want it and what route you want to go. They're both the same machine. I could just probably give you a little bit of a better deal on Sewing Machines Plus. So just message me and let me know. Got an order today and haven't even realized until just now. Oh, good, Mia. I'm so happy for you. And wait, what is that? Advi? Is that how you say your name? Adview Life. What's your name? I like to go by names. I've probably asked you before, but I'm so sorry I don't remember all your guys' names. But I'm so glad that you are here. I'm going to turn down the air a little bit. It's really, really warm in here. I live in Arizona, so hold on one second. I know it's like snowing in Colorado, and it is hot here, so. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna start, I have to work on these. This is an order that needs to go out. So all of my items in my shop are 1 to 2 weeks shipping time, except for a few items. So like my nursing pads, my headbands, some of my teething supplies, pacifiers, little things like that are super easy to make and get out. I do, 1 to 2 day shipping, so you have to kind of get those out quicker, but they're really, really easy and fast to make. So that's why I do that. I don't want somebody to look on my site and say, oh, I just want to order a headband, but it's 1 to 2 weeks. Like, that doesn't make sense. So I looked at that specifically and changed it so that they could get those orders out a little bit quicker and not have to wait 1 to 2 weeks like all the other items. So that's something to think about. Hi, Dev. One is a serger and one is a cover stitch. Let's see. Oh, Andy, so this one is a serger. So the serger does seams like what's on the inside of your shirt. So all of your side seams that are going down the side of your shirt or like in the shoulder up here. The cover stitch machine does all of your like hems. So around your arms, on the bottom of your shirt. So if you look at your shirt right now that you're wearing, they're different seams. So you use one for one and one for the other. I always use this one first, and then I follow it up with my cover stitch. So if you watch my skirt video, then that'll kind of explain more of what the cover stitch machine does. Adriana, that's such a pretty name. I've loved that name like literally since grade school. So pretty. Yes, okay. All right, well, my computer is going to be behind me, so if you guys have any questions, Sarah is really good at answering the questions, and so is Sandy, if she's still on here, because I know she's not feeling well. So you can ask them questions, and if they just, you can also highlight my name, and then I'll be able to see it, because I can see it popping up right here, and then I can try and answer some questions. This isn't reaching though, so. Hi, Alicia. Okay, so I'm gonna clean this first because it's quite messy. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's literally everywhere. So I need to go grab my my handy vacuum. I use that first. Because I don't want all this like to fly everywhere when I spray it or anything. And I always just take my brush that came with it and I just kind of like go over each area. And then it just falls down here. You guys, I'm a clean freak, so I don't like dirt anywhere. I pull on this string so that it doesn't get caught up anywhere. And then what I do is I just blow it a little bit, not too much, but I just go underneath here. And it gets everywhere. But I've gotten most of it out already. And then I blow all the dust off onto the floor because I don't want it on my desk. And then I just have my little oil that I got. You can get this Joann's, Hobby Lobby, pretty sure Walmart has it. I use this for my serger. I have another one that I have, the little pen oil that I got from All Stitch. I use that for my industrial machine, or my 10 needle machine, sorry. And then this one I just use for this machine. So always roll this towards you, never roll it away from you. And I just do like a little tiny squirt, not a ton. I just go slow. And then I just kind of roll it up and down a couple times to get it like in there. And then this right here, the thing that goes back and forth, I oil that just a little bit because that is what does a lot of work for the machine. And again, I just go real slow and just oil a little bit right there. Not a ton. And that's it. And I already changed my needle, so I don't need to change my needle. So everything's all set and done. It's all clean now. And it looks brand new. Okay. So Sarah, I mean, I don't know technically why you shouldn't roll it away from you, but what I've heard is that it just like tangles up. It's really bad for the machine because it's supposed to only go one way. The threads will get tangled up with each other. And it's also, that's why they say don't pull up on the thread, only pull down the thread, because then when you pull up on the thread, the fibers get stuck in your machine and it's really bad. It's the same thing with like the quality of thread you use. Like, you'll notice over time, yeah, you can sew with whatever thread you want, but over time, your machine will eventually break down if there's so much like debris in your machine. So that's why it's always best to go with a better thread, if possible. I have the vacuum linked in my Amazon links in the description. So let me know if my links are working. I've tried to go through each one and fix them. So hopefully they're working. I think so. Yes. I don't know. I just kind of oil it. I've moved it. So when you do the wheel, you can see what parts are moving and where you should oil. So, like, I don't need to oil the needles. Those don't do, I mean, they go in the fabric. But you'll see the parts that move up and down or back and forth. And then those are the parts that you need. There's only 2 parts that I oil. And I've had this machine for almost 5 years now, I think. Like 4 or 5 years. And I haven't had any issues with it. The only issue I've had with it is needles breaking. And that's on error part. That's my user part. Because I try to sew so fast, and I have a lot, I mean, I've worked this thing to the ground because of so much sewing. So that has nothing to do with the machine itself. That has to do with me, not the machine. Where did you get that big bottle of oil? I believe I got that one from Hobby Lobby or Joann's. They sell them there. So that's where I got that one. But you can also order the oil from SCOTTSDALE. They have oil there too. And I have like a pen oil that I use from them for my other machine. Angela, the big one, the gray and black one from Quilter Select, that one, that's my favorite one. It's heavy duty, it's expensive, but let me tell you, it's so worth it. If that's the one, I use the pen oil for my embroidery machines. Yeah, me too. If that's the one that you got, it's so good. It'll help your hands a lot because if you're cutting a lot, then it's really nice on your hands. Hello, Martha. Yay, it works? Perfect. Okay, that makes me happy because usually everyone's like, your links aren't working. And I'm like, no. So tonight's kind of a work with me, but also like a Q&A. So if you have questions, obviously like I've been answering, just kind of highlight my name up here and then I'll look and see. Otherwise, I know you guys all know each other and chat together, so it always helps that we all talk to each other. Thank you, Sandy. So this is actually an order, but after I finish these, I have a whole bunch of inventory that I have to work on. So, yeah. What time is it? I have to run inside for a second and tell my kids good night. Uh-oh. So, let me show you what just happened. One of my threads broke on my needle, which means I probably need to change it. And I don't know why, because I just changed them. But this is what happens. So see how it looks good on there, and then when you go around the side, see how down here it like unraveled? So that's what happens when the needle breaks, or not breaks, but when the thread came out. I noticed right here that it was like hanging. I don't know if you can see that from that far away, but it was hanging. And I was like watching it and it wasn't going. So it obviously got stuck on this because it's almost out. Sometimes that happens. So if you get load on thread, make sure you're paying attention, because it'll get stuck on these cones, and that's what happened just now. And it broke. So now I have to change the thread out and then redo this. I don't have to take it out. I'll show you what I do when this happens. I basically just take this off. I'm pulling just this needle through here, kind of like you would it just untouched. So sometimes it'll go all the way through, other times it doesn't. Of course, it didn't want to work because I'm trying to show you guys. So in this case, it's right here. Let's see, where did it go? You don't have to rethread the whole thing. It's the last needle. So if my needles ever break and I just need to rethread one needle, I don't have to rethread the whole thing. I just rethread that one needle. So I just put it through, and now I'm just gonna put it through the needle and be done with it. And now it's fixed. I don't have to rethread. So in the beginning, when I first started sewing, I thought I had to rethread the whole thing. You don't. Now, if one of these over here break or go out, you do have to rethread it. Okay, so now I'm going to cut the tail off. And I'm basically just going to pretend like I never sewed that, and I'm going to start all over. And you'll never be able to tell. And you can never tell. I don't know if you guys can see that. You can't even tell, like, what happened. So don't feel like you have to take it, unstitch it, and do all that nonsense. You don't have to. It's okay, Maya. We didn't really do much. I was just talking. All right, I'm gonna run and say goodnight to the kids really fast. Give me like literally 2 seconds. I'm just gonna go give them a kiss. I forgot to do that last time and I felt so bad. So I'm gonna go do that really, really, really fast. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I just, you have that guilty conscience when your kids go to bed and you don't say goodnight to them. So I always feel so bad. What did I miss? Anything? Please give this video a thumbs up on your way in if you have not yet. It really helps me to be seen by other people. So circles are pretty tricky to serge with, but once you get the hang of it down, then it becomes really a lot smoother process. So in the beginning, when I first tried to sew these, it was very frustrating because I couldn't get the circle exactly perfect. And so I kept trying and trying and trying. And I think what I learned was that I have 3 layers in my nursing pads, and the middle layer doesn't have to be exact the same as the front and the back layer. And it helps that a lot with bulk to not be the same, because it just has to catch a little bit on the inside and it should be good. I haven't had any issues with anyone telling me that they come apart or anything like that. So in the beginning when I was trying to sew them all together, it kind of was, it was just it was thick. And so it didn't sew as nice as I wanted it to, and it didn't look bad, but you always look for those little tiny reasons to change up a pattern or a way of sewing it, if that makes sense. I'm always trying to like make things a little bit easier. And you can always mess with your settings too. Like I always mess with my settings when I'm sewing this. I move it up like half of a, like in between half of a number. Also, like getting your fabric, I don't use my cutter. So if you guys are new here and you don't know, I don't use my cutter on my serger. It's just personal preference. I've never, not that I didn't like the cutter, I just could never get the stitches to look as nice with the cutter versus without the cutter, which seems really weird because the whole point of using a serger is to have those nice straight cut lines when you're sewing or serging, but I could never get them to look as nice as if I did not use the cutter. So I've trained myself to just match up my fabric perfectly on the cutter without the cutter being engaged. So that is how I serge all of my items, and I've just trained myself that way. And I also make my own patterns. So I leave out the seam allowance, so you don't have to, when I sew up my own pattern, I know that I've just already made it with that allowance and I don't have to cut it off. Like that's why a lot of patterns come with a seam allowance, is so you can have that extra, you know, 1/4 of an inch or 3/8 of an inch to cut off. Well, I just leave that out completely. I always check the back just to make sure the stitches look good and they're not wonky. The last thing I want is someone to think I don't sew nicely, so I'm always checking my stitches. Three to 6 inches of snow, Sarah, right now. Yeah, Cordelia, I never use my cutter, so I don't really know how it is to use the cutter on curves, but I can't imagine it's very friendly. It probably cuts your edges off. Like your neckline or your armpit line. I would be afraid I would like cut into it. So if this is your first time here or first time on my live, I do all handmade baby clothing. It's all organic on my clothing part. Blankets are, I do Minky blankets and Minky loveys. I do teethers and I do birthday shirts, embroidery and stuff. But these are my nursing pads. So I like to waste I try to do minimal waste, just put it that way. So I can't say I don't waste anything because there are times that I throw a little bit of fabric here and there, but I try not to waste anything. So that is what I'm doing right here. I'm making nursing pads, and this is made out of my scrap fabric. So I try not to waste it. If it fits into this 4-inch circle, then I will save the fabric. And then I let the customer choose whether they want girl prints or boy prints or solids. And then they get to choose those 3 options. And that's what I make these nursing pads with. Is so I have the organic cotton on the front, and then in the middle layer I have a pull waterproof layer that I get either on Etsy or Amazon. I've found a really good one on Amazon that I have linked in my description box. I try to order the one from Etsy, but sometimes they don't have it. So that should be in my description box. I think I just added that one because I had a lot of questions on what fabric I use in the middle of these. And then the back layer is just a plush fleece that I use on these. I use them on my bibs and my burp cloths, the same fleece. And I get this at Joann's. So there are specific items that I get at Joann's. There are specific items I get at Hobby Lobby. And then basically for the clothing, all the rest I get is on Spin Flower. But then like my cam snaps and like different accessories I get from Etsy or Amazon. It just depends. I have a wide variety of suppliers. And that's like when you have your own business, you get to pick and choose who you like. That's the beauty of it. So these 3+ years that I've been doing this business, you buy something, you try it. If you don't like it, you move on, you try something else until you find what you like, and then you stick with it. At least that's how I am. If I find something I like, I definitely write it down, I save it, I stick with it, because if it's working, why change it? So the reason, if you're wondering why I keep lifting this lever up and down, is because when I'm sewing a circle, sometimes, it goes off of the placement that I like to have it at, up against the cutter. And so if it moves off of it, I lift this up and I just readjust. Same thing you do when you're sewing a corner or a turn. You just readjust it everywhere you go. I think I'm actually going to change these needles because they aren't stitching super great anymore. it's fine. I just like them to be a little bit better. So I have my settings all the time at 4, 4, 4, and like 4.5. That works for me. But everyone sews different fabrics. So, I mean, I've always sewn with the same exact organic cotton knit, so I don't have to change my settings. But I do change it when I sew with these because they're a little bit thicker. So I change it from a 4.5 to a 5-ish. So actually no, I'm sorry, I go down to a 4. So 4s all across when I'm sewing these. When I'm not sewing these, I do 4, 4, 4, and 4.5. And then on the side, all of these settings are just the standard. I don't touch it. It's just whatever is marked as your standard. It's either circled or squared. Mine is squared. And I keep it at those standard settings. I don't touch those. Some of you got the DX, I believe is what it is. And the settings are a little bit different. But if I probably had that machine, I'd keep it at the standard as well. I only touch these ones up here. So I hope that helped. You just have to mess with it. The one for the PY she uses in between the nursing pads. What about, let's see. When I click on it, it takes me to Amazon, but it tells me the cart is empty, no pull. Might just be me. Huh. Good night, Sandy. Thank you for being here. Dawn, let me check that link for you in a second, and I will let you know. I can hold on. I can do it right here real quick. I'm going to try to link it again. I have it right here. So it's letting me bring it up. I'm just going to link it for you again. Okay, so just refresh and see if that link works, because it worked for me. Is my garage pretty? All right, well, Don, hopefully that works. Let me know if that link worked. I think every time I relink it from a PC, it works. So I'm gonna have to go through each individual one and do that. I've done some of them. I have them written down. That might have been one of them that I haven't done. So work with me. If you need a link that's not working, just message me and I get back to you pretty quickly. So just message me. I'm going to rethread this whole thing because it's not stitching the way I like it. And you'll get fast at this too, the more times you do it. It's super easy. I put it through here. I usually push down the tension so that it just, I don't know, it just, I feel like it goes through the discs better when you do that. I always have my tweezers in hand, or handy, I should say. And then I put them underneath here, and then I just pull them to the side. And always make sure you're threading it in order. That makes a huge difference. It won't sew right if it's not threaded correctly. The needle part is always hard for me because I have bad eyes. So it takes me a little time. Okay. Nope, something happened. Yeah. Biddle. I hate when that happens. Got caught somewhere. I don't know what happened. It got caught like between there. See, it happens to all of us. No matter how long you've been doing it, it still happens. I like it to be like all the way up. So these are the needles I use. I think I've showed you guys a million and one times, but they're just the Schmetz stretch needles, 9014. I use them for all of my clothing, all of my nursing pads, pretty much everything I use these ones for. I even use these needles for my blankets because I do minky and faux fur, and that is a knit material. So I use these needles for everything. So I used to use universal, and you still can. Like if I'm in a bind and I only have universal, it's not going to be like a super big deal. But stretch needles, you can definitely tell the difference when you're using them. So I'm just going to go ahead and change both of them out at the same time. Wherever mine. You guys, I'm all over the place today. Where did my thing go? There we go. So these have a flat back, and you just put them both in. I just do it at the same time. And I just push back up there on the back part of them, and they slide right up in there. And tighten them good, but not like super duper tight because you don't want to break them. And then everything stitches out so much better when you have a fresh needle. Okay, hopefully that works, because that's the way it's supposed to sound. Before it was like, I don't know, all choppy. All right. So much smoother. So whoever asked me that question when I change my needles, I can just tell. Like when it doesn't feel right, or it feels like it's like too much pressure, like running through it, that means my needles are dull and I just need to change them. It has nothing to do with the settings or anything like that, and then you can just totally tell it's like so, like a smooth canvas. Have I missed anything? An air threader, that would be nice. Because us blind people. I think that's the hardest part, is like threading for me. It's actually not even hard, it's super easy, I just can't see, so. can't remember whose live I was on. I think it was it yesterday? I'm not sure. But I was not paying attention and I was sewing and watching because I had the phone like right up here. And I broke a needle because I wasn't paying attention, but the needle broke and like flew at me and it like hit me in the shoulder. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just broke a needle. I was not paying attention. And so those of you who know, my brother stayed with me for a while and he was helping me work, and he went to California and he went back to work there. He got back yesterday, but he, I think, is deciding to go back there and stay. So bummer for me, but yeah, I'm happy for him, and hopefully this is a start to like a new career for him. I don't know. I'm sad all at the same time. But he's here for a week. Okay, so then they always look all like wavy, and then after I press them, they're nice and flat. So somebody else had a question on this. I usually just like pull the string to make it nice and straight, and then I make a loop. So I fold it over. I'm just holding it like this, like dangling it. I hold it over, push my thumb up, and then with the eye of the needle, because I have a big eye needle, I put that loop through the needle. And then I pull it down and it goes right through the needle. And then I pull it through going backwards through the seam. I used to pull it through going the same way and it didn't really like stay. It just like came back out. So I go the opposite way now. It's just stuff like that that you teach yourself and you're like, why didn't I think of that before? Yeah, have him cut everything. He's planning on it. So tomorrow, I have a babysitter tomorrow and we're gonna knock it out like big time. So he's gonna help me before he goes. I have like everything for him to do. I've written a lot of stuff down. I've already like last week, I cut out so much inventory because I didn't know what his plan was. So I just went ahead and did it. If I would have known he was coming back and like, I would have not cut everything and worked on other stuff like orders. But you know, whatever, it is what it is. Now I have all that cut out already, so we can do other things now. But he likes to do like the vinyl work and the cutting of that, so that's nice because I already have all the shirts and everything designed. And so what I'm doing for the shop is we're kind of switching it up this time, because before I did like clothing, which I'm still doing, but now I'm doing more outfit based. So before it was just like pieces, like leggings, bummies, rompers, this and that. Now we're doing like whole sets. So we're gonna see how that goes in the shop. So she wants like a pair of bummies with either, depending on the size, if it's a 0 to 3 month, then I would do a onesie. If it's a 12 to 18 month, then I would do a toddler tee. And then I will match whatever print I used on the bummies. I'm gonna do either a saying or a print, like a cute little design to match it. So like with my leopard print, I haven't even launched my leopard print on my website yet, so it's gonna be kind of like a new, like in her shop print. I'm gonna put it on my website too, but I haven't even carried it yet. So with that, instead of doing like a leopard print design, I'm gonna do like a saying that says like wild thing or something like that. With little leopard dots like around it, like, or underneath. I don't know. I haven't made it yet, but that's what I need to work on tomorrow, making all the shirts. And then I'll have him cut them all out, and then he'll do the shirts tomorrow, like making of them. So maybe I'll record a video on all that stuff. Would that be interesting? Hi Paulette, how are you? I feel like I haven't seen you on the last couple lives. How are you doing? Aw, thank you, Mia. Hi Shayna. Hi Joanna. Yes, I am super busy with orders, but I'm focusing on, well, after I finish this, just because I'm chatting with you guys, but after I finish, I'm going to start doing the inventory. I set tonight's live aside for mainly inventory because I've cut it, most of it out. I just haven't had time to actually do it. So I wanted to have tonight to work on it. Because I have to get her everything. And it's not just the making of the inventory, it's the tagging. I have to do like a spreadsheet of everything I've given her. I have to do pictures because she also puts everything in the shop on a website because she has her shop website. So like I do a lot of one of a kind things for her that aren't in my shop because I want to kind of separate the two. And so it's like the leopard print, I don't have that yet in my shop. So I have to take a picture of that for her, which I would take a picture of it anyway. So that's not anything new, but it's just a lot of work that goes into it. Like I have to price everything and label everything and do a spreadsheet for her, send her picture. Like it's just a lot besides just the making of the items. So it's time consuming for sure. It's totally worth it though. I love it. The new fabric, you only cutting the fabric but no finish, the Burp cloth. For the new fabric. I guess I'm not really understanding the question. Haiti. For the new fabric, I'm only cutting the fabric but no finish, the Burp. I guess I'm not understanding it. I cut all the fabric. I still need to finish it, if that's what you're asking. I need to finish sewing it. Okay, so I need to press these now. I need to put them over there to press. Are you talking about how did I find the local shop that I'm in? Is that what you're asking? I have not tried Wazoodle. Is that what it is, Wazoodle? I haven't even heard of that. Spoonflower, yes, Leah, the material that I get from Spoonflower is 100% organic cotton knit. So it's certified organic cotton. I get all of my fabric that I use for my rompers, my bummies, my leggings, all of my clothing and accessory material that I use is organic cotton from Spoonflower. So it's really nice. It's pricey, but again, you get what you pay for. It sews like a dream. I love it. Yeah, like I have tried other brands and I just really like the way that this one is, the way it feels, the way it looks, the thickness of it. It's thick, but it's not too thick. It's not thin. Yeah, I don't know. It's all about personal preference when it comes to clothing material. Storage finish. Sewing and make inventory ready for the shop. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah, so basically I cut everything out. If you're asking about inventory for the shop, I've pre-cut everything. So the other night I literally took like 3 hours and cut all my bibs and burp cloths, fronts and backs. I did my blankets. I still have to cut a few blankets out, but I do matching crib and lovey blankets. So I've got those set aside. I cut 3 of each size, 0 to 3 months, all the way up to 18 to 24 months of my bummies, because that's what we're working on right now. She wants bummy sets. So instead of doing like rompers, leggings, all the other clothing items I do, she wanted me to do bummies with a matching shirt and a matching headband or a matching beanie if it's a boy, like that sort of thing. So she wants a complete set. So I took the time and I have 3 different patterns cut or prints cut out from each different size. And then we're gonna start from there and see how that goes. I do have one more. She wanted me to do the rainbow one because that's super popular right now. So I still have to cut that one out of each size. But other than that, for the clothing, it's done. And then I have to do toddler tees. She wants toddler tees. So I'm gonna go grab some, you know what, I'm just gonna stick right here. I think I'm gonna work on these because they're already pretty much done. I just need to, do you guys want me to angle the camera down so you can see what I'm working on? Microwave pupil and use of making pads, found and it works amazing. I'll have to write that down, Kelsey. Thank you so much for sharing that. So Spoonflower is confusing because it's a very big site. You can buy a lot of things from it. But honestly, just search what you're looking for. So if you want to look for sunflowers, just put sunflowers, and then where you search it, it'll say like sunflowers in fabric, sunflowers in wallpaper, blah 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 blah. So just choose fabric, and then you can in that category you can then choose the type of fabric you're looking for. So like when I go to order something, I literally just put in organic fabric, and then the organic cotton knit fabric will come up. And then in that category, I'll search whatever I need to search for. Hopefully that helps. Yes. Cookies Creative Shop. I'm not sure of your name, but yes, it is amazing. Cookie or Cynthia. Okay, I'll probably end up calling you Cookie then because I'll probably be Cynthia. But if I see your name, I'll remember that you go by that. So, okay. So I've already pre-cut. Let me go ahead and move you guys down a little bit. Hold on one second. I think you'd probably rather see what I'm working on instead of my face. I'll do that for now while I'm doing all this. So I've cut out, I put them, what I do is I put them in order. So these ones that I'm working on are my 0 to 3 months, and I have them in order 0 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, and so on. So that's how I do it. And what I do is, excuse me, I sew all of my pieces, you know, I chain stitch it. This is what it's called. I do a chain stitch. So I do my cuff, or I'm sorry, my waistband, my cuffs, my waistband, my cuffs, my waistband, and my cuffs. So this is all for one size. And then after I do that, I just put it over at the size that it goes to. And then what I do after that is I started the process of this one. I uncut them all. So I cut them all the little pieces out. So here is a waistband that goes to, I separate them like this. So these waistband, this goes to this goes to this goes to this, and so on and so forth. I just kind of distribute them to where they go. And then now I need to flip them all out. So now I'm going to start flipping and pinning, not pinning, but clipping. So I know that I do them all. So I do all the waistbands first, and then I do all the cuffs after that. When I'm doing inventory, this is how I do it. When I'm doing orders, I do it a little bit differently. So you just kind of got to do what is easiest for you. And you'll figure that out like as you get busier, or if you end up being in a shop or whatnot. Inventory is a little bit different than shop orders. And so I do them I have a different system. And I like to do one size at a time. That way I am not confused, because these don't have sizes on them yet. So I have to sew my bummies all first, and then I put the size on them. So what I'm going to do is flip all these out, put them in, sew them, and then I'll put the size in them. So that's how I do it. Yes, I make all my own patterns. So when I do a tutorial, I choose patterns that are similar to mine, so we can work together and it's not confusing. So I don't think I've done a bummies pattern with you guys yet, but if we do one in the future, I will choose one that is similar to the one that I have. Bummies all pretty much look the same. It just depends on the fitting, if they're tighter or looser or whatnot. So my whole shop is more of like an Aram style fitting, so they're all a little looser and they're high-waisted. So they're not the super duper tight ones. Just because I chose the way that I do mine by me knowing that I wanted to gear my shop towards both genders. And I didn't want my bummies to only be worn by girls. So I knew if I did a tight, high-waisted one, it would only be geared toward pretty much girls. And I didn't want that. So I am working on a different kind of bummy that is mainly geared towards girls. I haven't finished it yet, or even finished making the pattern yet. But I'm working on, because I really do want a really frilly, cutesy one. So I'm working on it. I'm also working on boy drawstring shorts. I already have a pattern, but I'm tweaking it a little bit because I wanted to change it. So now that I'm better at making my patterns than I was however many years ago when I started, I'm now redoing a lot of my different patterns. Like my summer dress I'm redoing. I'm redoing shorts. I'm doing a add-on to my skirt. So I'll show you guys that too. It'll be super cute. I have a lot of new things coming. I just have so much in mind and not enough time. So I'm sure you guys can all relate. No, I do not sell my patterns only because, well, I don't even know how to sell my patterns. I don't know how to draw them up. I basically draw them from scratch on paper. And then I make them on, I have the magazine like folders that you can like wrap comic books in, or the comic book magazine holder things. I don't know what they're called. But those are what I use for my patterns. And I don't know how to even draw them up on a computer or anything like that. So I don't sell my patterns. But I can point you into a direction that has a similar one. If you message me and ask me what's the similar one to these that you make, whatever pattern you're looking at, I can send you the one that is similar. And I can always help you guys with patterns too. Like if you buy a pattern and you don't know how to read the pattern or make the pattern, I can always help you. Because that is why I started making my own patterns, was because patterns are very, very confusing. And so I like to simplify them. So if you ever have any issues or problems with the construction of them, please let me know. I can help you. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help. So this is my new leopard print. It's kind of like a muted mauve color. I don't know if you can see it on there, but it's like a really pretty muted mauve color. I love it. Good night, Angela. Aw, you're so sweet. Get a good sleep. You binge watched my lives? My lives are so long. Who was I? I don't remember who I was explaining it to earlier, but I was saying my lives are so long. And I think it's because I like to like interact with you guys and talk with you that I don't really focus. But then I have a certain amount that I want to get done, and so I just keep going and keep working. I think one of my lives I was super focused and I was very productive, but most of my other ones I just kind of, like I am tonight, I'm just kind of chatting, working a little bit, chatting a little bit, but my lives are very long, but that's okay. I only do them once a week, so they can be long. Bummies are super easy to sew up. They're really quick. It's just basically this part is the longest part, just putting all the pieces together. But once all the pieces are put together, it just sews up really nicely. So I was researching all day today on trying to figure out like what I want to get different cameras for different stations, different areas, so I don't have to keep moving you guys on this tripod. So I'm going to keep, I'll switch it around. So if I'm working here, you can work, like look directly down at what I'm doing. If I'm over at the other side of the room, I'll switch it. That way I don't have to move you guys around everywhere. So I'm working on that. Hopefully I can get that up by next week. Oh, sweet. Are you making a lovey? Aw, thanks, April. That makes us feel better because sometimes we're like, are we doing it too much? Like, but honestly, like, honest to God, I don't realize how long I'm on until I look and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's already been, like right now, it's already been an hour and a half and I feel like I just pushed go live. Vicky, I'm pretty sure they do. Aw, thanks, Sarah. So that's what I did before I started doing all this. I just watched. I love crafting. I've always, my whole life, I've loved crafting. So that's what I do. I would watch the videos on crafting. I'm going to move you guys again. Oh, they do? That's awesome. I would think they would ship internationally because they're huge. So what I've noticed with Spoonflower is I do get all the organic cotton knit from them, and every print is a little bit different. So the lighter the background, the softer the fabric, if that makes sense. So the darker backgrounds, like this background, how it's a solid, and it's not even dark, but it's a solid darker shade of color versus like this one has like a cream background and this one has a cream background. So the white backgrounds are a lot softer than the printed backgrounds, if that makes sense. So, and they're not even hard or not soft. They're just, you can tell the difference between the lighter backgrounds versus the darker backgrounds. That's another reason, one of the other reasons why I stuck with a lighter background, mainly because I love muted colors and lighter colors. That's just the color scheme I like, but also the fabric is a lot softer. So all three of these prints I do not have in my shop right now. They're brand new. I haven't even, this is the first item I'm sewing up with it. So I'm super excited to see them. Are you guys good where you are right there? Or do you want me to move you somewhere? Hi, Cindy. Hi, Nita. You need a higher cutting table, yes. Higher cutting table for sure. But do it to like, that's why I made my own so that you can adjust the height to whatever you need it to. Because I'm short, and so a lot of them were too high for me. How are you guys? I'm just working on inventory. I can't wait to see this one. I'm so excited. Cindy, this is a leopard one, and it's like a mauve color. So cute. This is the 0 to 3 months, so the smaller they are, they get a little bit tougher to work with when they're small. So just go slow and take your time. Okay. So look how little these are. They're so tiny. Yeah, Noreen, yeah, that's how so like these ones are so soft. And then when I feel these ones, they're still soft, but it just feels like you're right, like there's like almost like a film over it or something. But that's why I mentioned I don't pre-wash my fabrics, so they will get softer after the first wash. And they do, because every time, well, besides these girl prints, but every time I get a new print, I make a pair of leggings or a romper or whatever for my son. And when I wash them, I do notice they do get a lot softer. So, it's just those kind of things that you have to pay attention to when you put them on in your description, so that people know what to look for. And that way you can say, well, in my description, blah, 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 blah. So like one time somebody ordered a romper and they thought it was going to be like a tight romper. And actually my rompers are a little bit looser because they're Aram style. And it says in the description, Aram style romper, which means a looser fitting. So I suggest sizing down if you want a tighter fitting romper. Well, she didn't read the description and she got actually a size bigger. So when she had messaged me, she had said that she normally, she wears this size, but she ended up getting a size bigger because she wanted her to be able to wear it longer, because my prices are a little bit higher. So a lot of people, you have to think about that too. Like, how long do you want them to be able to wear it? And so I said, well, in my description, it says they are a little bit, bigger because they're looser fitting. So I suggest sizing down. And she's like, oh, I didn't read your description. So I'm so sorry. Thank you for letting me know that. I'll just have, she just waited for her to like grow into it basically. And I felt bad. And I was like, I gave her like a discount for her next purchase and stuff. But you just have to really like tell people to just read your description. That's why descriptions are so important. You have to be very, very descriptive on your item. Uh-oh. My thread broke again. See what I mean, guys? This is so frustrating. This is why I'm getting a industrial serger, because I sew so much with this thing that I just break needles and everything else. And it's so frustrating because I'm in the middle of it and then it breaks. Like, I didn't even do anything wrong. So anyway, I just go like this, take it off. There's no reason for that. It just does that all day long. I just use it too much. It's from the same needle that I just changed. It's from the thick, where all the seams meet. Right here in the middle where the crotch is, where all these 3 seams meet, you just, I mean, there's no other way to do it. You got to do it like that. So it's just hard. Hard on the machine. A big deal because it's easy to fix, but like it's just annoying. So if that happens, just make sure you go back over the seam that happened with. So that's what I just did. I just went back over that little seam right there, and it's fine. It's actually double secure now, but let's see what these look like. They're so cute. I have to press them obviously and stuff, but so cute. Ah, I'm in love. Look how little they are. Yes, he did. He loved his birthday. We got him a Papa Shot. So I don't know if you guys saw it on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, please go follow me there. I post things daily on my stories and in the feed, just of, you know, stuff, random stuff. And he got a Papa Shot. So it's like a 2-person basketball hoop. So we put it in the playroom. I move things around and he loves it so much. It's been so fun. I didn't realize how loud they were though, so I was like, oh my gosh. But he loves it, so that's all that matters. And then we got him like a Woody doll because he wanted a Toy Story Woody doll that makes noise. Like he has the pull string. He wanted the pull string for some reason. He was very particular about that pull string. So. And we got him a couple other things too. I got him a couple pairs of shoes and some other things, but yeah. These ones are so cute too. So these ones I got because as soon as I saw them, of course, the Arizonan in me, I had to get them. And when I'm done sewing them, I will show you why. Because they're gorgeous. And I kind of think, I don't know, they might be girly-ish, but I feel like they're gender neutral. So I don't know. You guys tell me after I show you, let me know. So this is where it always breaks, so I have to go slow. Sometimes I even use the handle just to get it through. On all the other parts, it's totally fine. You know when you're nervous because you know something might happen and your heart kind of like flickers a little bit? Every time I come up to that middle seam right there, I'm like, it's going to happen. And then sometimes most of the time it doesn't happen, but it happens a lot. And then I'm relieved if it doesn't do that. Struggle bus. There we go. Okay, let's see these ones. So cute. See these ones, guys? So this is I don't know, cactus, sunshine, Arizona, you know? And look at those colors. Isn't it so cute, those colors? So pretty. So could these be gender neutral or are they too girly? I don't know. Hey, Latasha. Yeah, no kidding. Totally gender neutral? Okay, that's what I thought, but I don't know. These ones are also so cute. So let me sew these ones really quick, you guys. This is my third and final new print. So, well, besides the turtle. The turtle is my new-ish print, but it is my first exclusive print, so it's always going to be my baby. And yeah. So I finally was able to put it up on Etsy. So now it's up on my Etsy shop, the turtle print I'm talking about. So the turtle print under the sea is what it's called. It's on my website because if you guys didn't see, my website is fully launched. So you can go to beingabliss.com and look at my website. It's on there and I have the turtle print, all the turtle prints on there. The only thing I'm waiting on is the blanket material. So I will be offering a blanket in that material as well, or that print. Today I was able to upload all the turtle prints to my Etsy shop as well. So they're up on there now. Super exciting. We're still working on some things, so it's not perfect, but it was good enough for me to say, let's go, let's do this. So just like little things here and there, like, I don't know. Just, there was like a word in the description that was supposed to say with, I think, and instead it said the. So it's just little things like that that I'm catching, little errors. Everything's a work in progress. But I'm proud of it. It's taken a lot of hours to get to launch day. Even though I hired somebody else to kind of like take it on, I've still been in there like working on it and doing it with them and helping. And when you get to this like stage on a website, you want it to be done like correct, the right way. And it's just hard. Owning your own business is hard. It's a lot of work. Nita, I think you might like these ones. Because you live in California. By the water. Well, I guess whoever lives by the water will like these ones. All right. These ones are so cute. As soon as I saw them, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have them. Look how cute they are. Oh my God, look at that little butt. So they have like lighthouse, they have a sailboat, they have like seashells, I don't know, seagulls. So cute. Little anchors. So when I get new prints, I usually try to do a boy, a girl, and a gender neutral. So that's what I did here. I did a boy, a girl, and then a gender neutral. So that's how I pick my new prints out. So these will be 3 new prints for the next month or 2, and then I'll do 3 other prints. And then I can just kind of like phase out that way. So that's how I do it. So now these are done, and I just put the marker on it. And then I just keep going throughout and doing that. But I think I'm going to do something else. I'm going to go grab some burp cloths over here so that I can start working on those. So let me grab some. I'll be right back. So I'm sure you guys, if you've been to Hobby Lobby lately, I'm sure you've seen all these prints that I have because I got them at Hobby Lobby, but I just wanted to replenish. I get all of my cotton, my quilter's cotton, I guess is what you would call it, from Hobby Lobby. I like their thickness of their cotton. So here's one that I got. So I cut 3 out of each print. So I do 2 singles And then I make one set, which is a bib and a burp cloth. And then I package it up. I have like a wraparound thing that I use. So that's how I cut that out. So here's the other one, another print that I got. Here's another one. It's little lambs. So cute. And then this one has like unicorns and stuff on it, bunnies. And then I got this one, which is super cute. Then I get like some simple ones. So this is just like gold, like slashes, I guess. Then I got this one for boys. And of course you have to have a camo, so I got the camo. I got one like this, super cute for boys. And then I got a dino, so I got the dino. So my bibs and burp cloths, I venture away from my style a little bit because I want them more playful, if that makes sense. So the bibs and burp cloths, I kind of just do their own thing with. I'm going to start doing this sort of thing for bibs and burp cloths, but then also having an additional bib and burp cloth that match the clothing. So like I would make a bib and burp cloth out of this material to match this outfit. That way if somebody wanted to buy the bunnies with a matching bib, they would have that. So I'm going to start doing that as well. But for now, this is what I'm working with. So yeah, that's what's happening right now. Lots of bibs and burp cloths. I think I'm going to bring back the bibs and burp cloths to my shop. I took them out of my shop for a while, but I think I'm going to bring them back and do this right here. I'm not going to probably offer these kind of bibs on my website only because I do organic. So I want to offer just the matching bib and burp cloth to match the outfit that I'm doing. So that's the plan. Thank you, Adriana. Yeah, the lambs are so cute. Yeah, so this is what I use. It's fleece. So this is but you have to, if you want this kind that I use, it's the plush fleece. If you get the regular fleece, it's not as soft. This fleece right here is so soft and super absorbent, and I love it. So I just realized this one got the edge cut off, so I can't use that one. But yeah, the plush fleece, I get it at Joann's, and I guess every Joann's probably has it like in a different section. But I get it where like all the minky dimple dot is, and it's always like hidden in the back, but you have to make sure it says plush on it. And then I use these super fine needles. I use these ones for everything. Do you guys have any questions for me? What size needle am I using, Maria? Sorry, I missed that question. Are you talking about this right here? Is this the needle you were talking about? Shirley, how did you find a shop in your area? So I used to do markets. So when I first started out, me and a friend of mine, we wanted to do markets. So we started doing them together, and then we outgrew sharing a booth together. So we started doing our own. And when you do markets, a lot of people, that's where they start out and then they move on from there. Some people get their own business, start their own business like online, or they open new shop, or they open their own shop. Well, a girl that I used to do markets with decided to open a shop that I didn't know about it, and she had reached out to me and said that she thought that our products complemented each other. She does all organic skincare and like bath bombs, candles, like cleaning essentials and stuff like that. And she has a baby line with skincare and stuff. And so because I do all organic, she's all organic, I'm all organic, the two of us mesh together really well. And it's actually worked really good. I've been super happy there. Her shop is so, 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 so cute. We have the same style. So it just ended up happening like, I don't know. I got blessed. And it's just worked out really well. Good night, Sarah. 100% cotton on one side. So the print that I use is the cotton, 100% cotton, and on the back side I use the plush fleece. So there's nothing in between it. I literally just, so for my organic nursing pads, I put a layer in between because they're leaking. This is just for a burp rag. So I literally just use the two pieces. I put them together. That's all I use. So hopefully that helps. Yes, Christina, I love these pins because I can leave them on and sew with them. I know you're not supposed to, so don't do it if you don't want to. I do it because it's my machine. I'm aware that I could break a needle, I could ruin my machine. That's my deal. But I've never, ever, ever once had an issue using these specific needles. They're very ultra fine and they glide right through the machine. So I don't have to take them out. Because with the plush fleece, it's kind of like minky. It moves around a little bit. So I like to leave the clip or the pins in there while I'm sewing. So I literally just sew around the whole thing and then I have to stop every time. So it's just easier for me. Can you use fleece blanket fabric to go on the burp cloth? You can honestly use whatever material you want for a burp cloth. I've seen people use the dimpled dot, like minky for a burp cloth. I've seen people use flannel for a burp cloth. It's all up to you. You can pretty much use whatever you want. But I use the cotton on one side and the fleece on the other. Do I need to do anything special to use the big thread cones with the serger, or do I just put them on the posts and go? Yep, you just put them on. So see under here, this post that it came with right here. I don't know if you can see that. Hold on, my thing's in the way. So it comes with this like cone-ish thing right here, and you just put it straight on there, and then you thread it and you go. Always make sure that this, what's this called? This like T thing, I don't know what it's called, but you put your thing through it. You can, when you store it, you can push it down like this. Always make sure it's up. So pull this up and make sure it is all the way up in where it's supposed to be. Otherwise, it won't stitch right. I've done that before where I've forgotten to put it up and it doesn't stitch right. So make sure. I get my pins at Joann's. Need to do anything special? The serger is made to use the big cones as is. Yes. I was referring to that needle. Okay, so this needle is, let me show you. I have one right here. I got these at Joann's as well. They're Drits. They're just a tapestry needle, and they're large eye needles. So make sure you get tapestry though, because you want them to be smooth on the bottom, so it's not pointy. So see the bottom right here, there's no point. It's not pointy at all, so it doesn't snag when I pull it through. If you get a pointy one, it'll catch the thread and it'll snag it. So don't get a pointy one. They're called tapestry needles. No, I hand cut all of mine. I don't use a cutter. Of course. Hopefully that helps, Nancy. Yeah, just put it on there and start sewing. Thank you, Aubrey. That means so much. I try to help you guys as much as I can. Okay, so I did some burp cloths and they ended up a little, I guess, wavy all around. Do you know what this could be? Okay, so I had that issue when I first started making them. What helped me was making my seam allowance a little bit wider. So if you're trying to sew it so close to the edge, that will happen. If you do it a little bit farther away from the edge, not a ton, like I do, maybe a 1/4 of an inch to, I think, what, 5/8 of an inch, and it looks very nice after that. I don't serge it though. So do you serge yours? I don't serge mine. I use a regular standard sewing machine. Aw, thank you, Noreen. You guys, I don't have to do that. I really appreciate it. $60 bibs and burp cloths cut and ready to sew. Starting my baby shop this week. Oh, Christina, I'm right there with you. I literally have, let's see. Yeah, I have the same. I have 30 burp cloths and 30 bibs that I cut out. Yeah, because I have 10 different prints at 3. I cut 3 of each printout, so that's 30. So yeah, 60. I have 60 total. So we're working together, girl. Yeah. Okay, so Aubrey, if you I mean, I can sew one with you really quick if you want me to show you how I actually do it. I can just show you real fast. So I basically, you put them together. So I make my pattern like this. So I do it on the fold. So you cut it on the fold. I do that with both. They're both exactly the same pattern. And then I find which way I like my front and my back to be. So this one is, this one needs to be ironed, so I'm gonna choose this one right here. It doesn't need to be ironed. So I usually know which way I want, because there's always on this fleece, there's a fuzzier side and a like smoother side. I like the fuzzier side showing, but that's just me. So you can choose whichever way you like it to be. And then I just pin it. So I'll show you how I do it. Let me go ahead and face the camera down a little bit. So I have my right sides facing together, like this. I do minimal pinning. So I pin in the middle right here, just like that. I pin in the middle right here. I'm gonna poke where I pin so I can show you. I leave an opening right here. And I only leave about an inch to an inch and a half opening, very, very little. I don't need a big opening, but I put a pin right here. I put a pin right here, and I put 2 pins on this side. And that is how I pin it. So 2 and 2, that's how I do it. And it makes it super easy. Because when you're doing, like we're doing 60 burp cloths and 60 together, burp and bib cloth. I can't talk. Burp cloths and bibs. So you don't want to have to sit there and pin, 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 pin. You don't need to. So just do minimal. So that's it. That's all you do. So that's what I would do to all of them. Okay. So now I'm going to bring you over here. I'm going to grab my phone charger real quick. Because I have no idea what my phone charge is at right now, because I can't see. Yep, it's at 19%. So I need to plug this in. I'm going to move you guys over here. So I'm going to move all this stuff out of the way. Okay, let's see here. Sorry I keep moving you guys. This is why I want to get like another camera. Well, I have cameras, but I need to get a system to where I can set them all up at the same time so that you guys can see what I'm doing and I don't have to keep moving you everywhere. But I feel like you guys always like to see what I'm doing instead of just asking questions. So I like to get it right for you guys. All right, let's see. That looks better. All right, I'm going to go grab that bib real quick. Or burp cloth because I can't talk tonight. Okay. So because just like everything else that I sew, it has, the backing is a fleece backing. So you're going to want to put your tension down a little bit. So the reason why it could be wavy too is maybe your tension is too tight. So change your tension. Make it a little bit lower of a tension. I always have mine on like a 2. So I usually use just the same settings for my blankets, my burp cloths, pretty much everything, just because I hate switching it all back and forth all the time. Again, I start, so my opening is going to be on this. So this is where my opening, I didn't mark it because I just do these all the time, so I know, but my opening is going to be right here. So I start right here. If you don't have a locking stitch, you want to back stitch and stitch all the way around until you get to here and stop. You want to leave an opening right there. So before I start my settings, I'm going to show you. I'm at an 8. My needle is pretty much all the way over. It's not completely all the way over, but if you go maybe 2 2 spaces shy of all the way over. And then I have my stitch length at a 4 and my tension at a 2. And that's just the way I like it, but it's worked for me, so try it maybe, and it might work better for you too. And just like go around the curves. But that's why I don't use that many needles, because you don't, or pins, because you don't need them. You just hold it. And it doesn't like shift around because your tension isn't so tight. But just stay on the edge and just like go around the corners and move with the, you know, with the roundness of the bib or burp cloth. Just keep moving with the edge of it. And then you're coming up to the end, so and then because I did it so close to the edge right there, you don't have to trim it or cut it or anything. It makes it so much easier. What I do in here though, where the contour is I do like 3 little snips, but I don't cut the thread. I just do enough to where it will lay nice and flat. So that is a good tip to do. But when you turn it over, see how close it is right here? You can see how close it is on the edge all the way around. So there's no trimming needed at all. So go ahead and take your pins out after that. And it moves quick because there's only 6 pins. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put mine right here. And what I mean by just trimming, I just literally take my scissors and I just do 3 little tiny cuts. They don't have to be big, because you don't want to cut into the stitching. But doing that helps a ton with the way it lays. And like, look, I literally only left this little tiny opening right here. Like, you can't even really see it. It's just a tiny little opening. And to me, the smaller the opening, the better, because then when you go to top stitch, it's not wonky. Some people, if you see their top stitch, it's literally like it gets cut off right here. Like it's like round and then it goes straight. So when you have a little tiny opening right there that you can pull it through, then you can round it and it looks really neat. It doesn't look all weird up at the top. So then just carefully go through and pull it out. I try to like just gently pull it out because it is such a tiny opening. You have to kind of work with it. If you grab the fleece, it's easier because it's softer and you can just kind of like pull it out, kind of like a blanket, just kind of pull at it. But don't pull so tight that you're going to rip the stitches. Just take your time. You don't want to rip it. I'm going to turn my heat press on because that's what I use afterwards. I'll be right back. Okay, so you just work your way through it. And then I usually have a chopstick or some sort of stick because it turns out like this. It's all like weird, you know? So I usually just use a chopstick that I have. You can get them at any of the craft stores, but I just have a big one. Just make sure it's not super sharp at the end because you will puncture your fabric and you don't want that. So my next step now is I go through the hole and I go all the way to the opposite end. And then I just kind of like, I'll do it on here so you can see. I go around the edges and I just pop it out. And you want to make sure you pop it out all the way around and round it. Otherwise it will look round in some places and then straight or squared off in other places. So just make sure you're rounding the whole thing. And then I kind of just roll the edges to make sure that the fabric is laying evenly around the whole thing. I can probably adjust this a little bit more real quick for you. I think I was sewing, what did you say? I think I was sewing too close to the edge. I'll try your tips tomorrow. Thank you very much. Of course. Yeah, so sometimes if you sew it way too close to the edge, then it will do that. So now my opening is right here. And this is where I will just press, like you can finger press it down or you can use a pen, whatever you want to do. I typically iron it first before I top stitch it because it lays really nicely. My heat press is not heated up yet because I didn't have it on. So I'm going to go ahead and just top stitch it now because I don't want to wait for that. But what I'll do is just do that, and then that's where the little opening is. But see how it's now nice and round and it's not like squared off on top? So I'll start with that. I don't touch my settings. I leave them exactly the same how they are. And actually, what am I doing? I always start on the side because this is where I put my tag. So what I'll do to hide my stitch right there, I use my wraparound tag. I use these tags on everything. And I will be wrapping this around like this. So I want to hide my stitch under there. So make sure it's all nice and neat. Roll it out. I'm going to start right there in the corner. And when I get to where my opening is, I kind of tug it a little bit just to get it nice and straight. And so it's going to be a little bit wavy after you sew it. See how it's kind of like just a little bit wavy? But then when you press it, it's going to lay nice and flat. And it's not going to be wavy at all. And then this is where my opening was. But once I press it, it's going to be nice and flat. And you won't even be able to tell it was there. So see how that's where my opening is. But once I press it nice and flat, you won't even be able to see it's there. And then my tag, I know it goes right here because this is where I back stitch and forward stitch. I don't even need to worry about those. but I do. And so I know exactly where to put it over that little area. And then I just do a straight stitch over that. And those are basically the bibs that I do, or burp cloths. I keep calling them bibs. Burp cloths. And I never do them one at a time like this. I just wanted to show you guys like how I do them. I always do them in stages because that's how I work very efficiently, doing everything in stages. When you're doing a lot of bulk inventory, I don't do one at a time at all. So I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to take my charger. I'm going to show you guys what it's going to look like after I press it. Now I won't lose charge because my phone was about to die. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to press it for you guys. So I literally just put it on my heat press like this, and then I just press it for like, I don't know, 5 something seconds. Because you don't want to burn the fleece. It's not going to burn it, but you don't want to heat that too much. So now this is what it looks like. I'll stand it up for you guys. So now this is the opening right here. You can't even see. It just is nice and round. The smaller you do it, and that's where I put my tag, right on the side. Just like that. This is the back. You can't really tell where the opening is. This is where the opening is down here. You can't even tell. So that's how I do them. And then they're big enough, you know, I made my pattern a little wider because I wanted it to cover like my whole chest and then my back right here, because before when I would use like the store ones, it was so thin and skinny that it would literally just like fall down my arm. So I made these a little bit fatter, if that's the right word. I don't know. A little bit wider. So that's what I do. So hopefully that helped you guys. I probably missed so many comments. Thank you guys. Palm Springs. Hi Rachel, how are you? All right, any more last minute questions before I start doing stuff again? I try to be efficient. It doesn't always work that way, but I try. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. I try to make it fun. I try not to, you know, when you're working and you have a lot of stuff, like all this stuff, just make it fun. Just try to have fun with it, because if you don't, then it's not going to be, you're not going to like it. So just try to have fun with it. Like this part right here isn't very fun, but you got to do it. Sometimes it doesn't line up, so you just gotta mess with it. Thank you guys. I was hoping I would get my machine tonight so I could, you know, I wanted to mess with that tonight. That's why I was saving my bibs, because I wanted to sew all of my bibs on, my bibs and burp cloths on my industrial, because I'm getting an industrial, but it didn't come, so we're gonna have to wait on it. Are you guys working, or are you just watching? What, you guys have anything going on tonight? I feel like I just gave you guys a live lesson. It was fun though. I really like this one. I feel like this one is so pretty. Like the flowers, the blue, the colors of it are so pretty. Tomorrow work on orders, working on tutu outfits, nice. Industrial is awesome. Watch your foot control, it's super sensitive and you'll scare the crap out of yourself. I love spoon. I can literally spend hours on there. Good, Vicky. That makes me feel so good that it helped. It's very, working with that kind of fabric is hard, so there's a lot of trial and error that went into those and just figuring it out. But like I said, once you get it, it's so easy, and you just, it's about the settings and just little things. that add up. Yeah. I used to make tutus, not anymore. I just don't have time for them. They're so cute. I love them. I just have other things going on. I kind of went all over the place tonight. I was planning on sewing all these clothing or these bummies, but I'm tired of sewing bummies. I hate to say that, but I've been sewing so many bummies that I'm just like, ah. So I wanted to do something different, so that's why I grabbed these. Start working on these. I like to just like split things up. That way I don't have to work on the same thing over and over and over again. I'm not good at repetitive. I like to, we're creators, so it's hard to do the same thing over and over again. It gets boring. What time is it where you guys are? It's 10:30 here. I'm probably gonna get off soon so I can get some sleep because I haven't been feeling great and I don't want to push it. I have a whole day tomorrow. I have a babysitter tomorrow. I might pop on a live tomorrow during the day just for the heck of it. 1:30, oh my gosh. Tutus didn't take longer. They just, I didn't have like outfits because I did tutus before I embroidered, before I even started embroidering. So I would do tutus with like my just random onesies that I would make, not embroidered. And so then I just didn't want to do them anymore. And then I started embroidering, and then I realized everyone who embroiders does tutus, and so I just never brought them back in because there was just so many people doing them, and I just ventured out and did other things. So it wasn't that like I don't like to do them or they took too long. It was just I just had other stuff that was happening, and I had other, my business just went a different way, if that makes sense. So tutus are more like costume-ish item, and my clothing is just like everyday wear clothing. So it didn't really go with my brand, I guess. So I just took them out. And embroidered shirts don't really go with my brand either, but because they are a kid, I guess kids item, like a birthday is for kids. It goes with my shop a little because I offer all kids clothing and stuff. So it just kind of meshes a little bit better. Plus I really, really, really enjoy embroidering. Like that's more like a hobby to me. Like I just think it's so fun and I love creating. And so it's an easy way for me to create something. Patterns take me a little while to make, and so I don't make patterns all the time. So embroidering is just a fun way to think about, just like let my brain soar, I guess. I don't know. Not have to think about anything in life. That's the, if if you have like one hobby that like just lets your mind like go wherever, that's the one thing that I can do when I'm cutting out the applique or just like watching it stitch out or whatever. Like it's just so fun and relaxing to me. No, I haven't had that issue, Paulette. I've actually tested it too, because before when I first started my shop, I would pre-wash everything because that's what everybody told me to do. Pre-wash, pre-wash, pre-wash. So I did, and it just started getting to be a nuisance because it was so much fabric to wash, and I just didn't stop doing it. So I said, you know, I'm just gonna test it. So I would make stuff and then I would test it and wash it and I would dry it, even though I know on my description, my care tags, I tell them do not dry or dry on a low setting. I usually say dry naturally. I would then go ahead and dry my test one on high heat to see what it would do. And I actually never found any difference. It never shriveled up, it never shrunk or anything. Like they say, if you put these two together without pre-washing this, the cotton will shrink and this won't, because this doesn't shrink. And then it would kind of like shrivel. I never had that happen. So I just never worried about it. It didn't happen. And I do the same thing with my clothing. I don't pre-wash my clothing because of allergies and whatnot. So I just don't. And I've never had anyone say the stitching's weird or anything. So, I mean, do whatever you feel is best for you. That's how I feel about my business, is I just do what I've tested and what I know works for me. And don't go off of what everybody else says. Because Paulette, maybe you pre-wash your fabric and I don't, and you feel like that's better for you, and that's totally fine. Like everyone has their own way of doing things. Like I don't understand when people are saying, no, you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way. Like everyone has their own way, and it should be fine no matter what way you want to do it. That's your decision. It's your business. It's nobody else's decision besides you. And that's just how I feel, and that's my opinion on it. But just do what you want to do with your own business. That's my best advice. I always ask for people's advice, and I always ask what they think, and then I'll go and try it myself and see what I think about it. I always want to know other people's opinions on it, but then I'll go again and figure it out my own way, and then I'll kind of decipher which way is better for me and which way I like more. So, if that helps. I never disregard anyone's opinion on things. I just listen, and then I figure out which way is better for me. Not which way is better like in a bad way, just which way I like better. How many burp sets do I make in a time? So this time I cut out 3 of each bib print and 3 of each burp cloth print. So I'm doing 2 singles and 1 set, if that makes sense. So 2 singles that anyone can buy, and then I make a burp and bib cloth set that go together, and I wrap it like with a, I make this wrap that I do. So that will be a set. So I've cut 3 pieces out of each one. No, it doesn't really matter. I'm sewing it, I'm pinning it fleece side up just because I'm checking to make sure. I put my cotton down first and I make sure that all of the cotton is covering all of the fleece, and then I flip it, and then I do the same thing and I'm making sure that each edge is covered, and then I'm pinning it. But it doesn't matter because these pins are so fine. It doesn't matter which way you sew it. I usually always sew it cotton up because I like to see where the needle is going on my print. So I sew it on the machine fleece side down, cotton side up. And I feel like it runs better in the machine that way. But these pins are so fine that it doesn't matter which way I pin it. How do you present the burp cloths that are not on a set? So she has them on a shelf, and we just fold them like this in half, and then she kind of how I had them laid out like this on the table. So she has them just like staggered like this so she can see them, and then she has a sort of mannequin, I guess, that has one like laid over like that so you can see like the whole thing. So she has it displayed to where it has like, people know that it's a burp cloth. When I did markets, I actually displayed them on a shelf sideways like this. They were all laid out flat, and I kind of staggered them the same way, but they were laid flat, if that makes sense. And it worked really well for me that way at markets. And people were able to go through them and see the colors because I had them like kind of like staggered like this, fanned out, and then people could see like all the different prints. And I had one corner shelf unit that I had specifically made for bibs, and then I had one on the opposite side of my tent that were specifically made for burp cloths. And they were able to like mix and match them, but they knew that all of these were bibs, all of these were burp cloths. They were all the same prints, but they could mix and match them, or they could get them single. So and then I had pictures up too of each one. And I actually had like, my bib is a bandana bib, so I had it like hooked around the top of my cabinet thing it was on so people could tell what it was. Because the bibs, especially laying down, you can't really tell. They're like triangles. I like putting towel on one of the side of the burp cloths. Yeah, I've tried that before. Good night, Paulette. Thanks for being here. I just like the fleece. I like how soft it is and absorbent. It's super duper duper absorbent. I think that's the biggest comment I had when I did markets was the absorbency of this fleece. They would always come back to me and say that the bib and burp cloth got softer and softer after each wash, and that it absorbed so much better than any other burp cloth or bib that they had used when their baby was drooling or whatever, that this fleece right here was so absorbent. So that's one reason why I've never switched. I've always just used the same one because I've always just gotten good feedback on it. And when you get good feedback on something, then just stay with it, because obviously, you know, people are like it. This isn't fitting right. So when it doesn't fit right, I actually just flip it around the other way. Sometimes it just fits better like that. I think I'm going to doing vendor events, but I'm not sure how much inventory to take. I take bummies, leggings, rompers, etc. How much of each should you take to your vendor events? Good night, Kimberly. Thank you for being here, and good luck tomorrow morning on your test, whatever test you're taking. And yes, I do use my little vacuum to clean my machines. I had to clean my machine in the very beginning of this live, and I showed you guys how I did it, and I used my vacuum with it. So if you missed the beginning of the live, you'll see me using it if you rewatch it. So for my vendor fair events, I would probably take, it depended. So rompers take a lot of material. So I wouldn't make a ton of those. I did, however, bring samples so that people could see the prints that I had. And if they wanted me to make them a romper in that specific print, so I wouldn't sell the print that I had there, but I would let them do a custom order. So I brought custom order sheets, and if they wanted a romper in a specific pattern that I had or print, because all of my clothing you can mix and match. If you see a bummy you like, you can get it in a romper or a legging or vice versa, whatever. So if she saw something she would like, then they could special order it, and then I would just tell her, I will make it for you, and I'll ship it to you within the next, couple days or whatever my shipping was at that time. And I would just have them pay there. So as they were buying it from you, if you already had it. So do a custom invoice and charge them right then and there. That way they've already paid for it and you just have to ship it to them. So that's how I would do rompers. Bummies, because bummies are so easy to make and so fast and such a huge seller, I made a lot of bummies. So each print I had, I would probably make at least one, if not two of each size. Because you don't know you don't know who's going to be there, like what sizes you need. So sizes were a huge issue because sometimes you wouldn't sell any of this size and you would need more of this size or whatever. So that's just really hard. But again, I did custom orders. So if I didn't have a size in something, I would just tell them I could make it for them and I would just have them pay for it and I would ship it to them. I did, however, offer free shipping, just first class. It's only $3 or whatever. If it was for a romper, I didn't offer free shipping because I didn't have rompers there readily available. But if I had bummies there that they didn't have their size and they had to pre-order it or special order it, I would offer them free shipping. But I would tell them free shipping today only. Like, you can't call me tomorrow. It's only free shipping at the market. So they had to pay for it and everything right then and there. Bibs and burp cloths, I would do like 3 to 5 of each print of each one. So that's a lot. I mean, markets took me a month to prepare for. Like, it's a lot of work. That's why I quit doing them, because business has picked up and I don't have time for inventory. Like, I'm rushing to get this inventory out, and this isn't even a lot. Like, this is very, very little compared to what I'm used to. And I'm rushing this out at the last minute because I haven't had time to do inventory. because orders are good, business is picking up. I just have not had time. So I actually feel guilty because I'm like doing it at the last minute. What else did I have there? All of my teethers, I made a bunch of teethers. I had so many teethers. I wish I could post pictures on here while we're talking because I would show you. But if you go to my Instagram, you can see, if you look through my whole feed at the very bottom of it, that you should be able to see like market pictures and my setup and everything like that. But if you don't follow me already, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. I now just recently joined TikTok like everybody else. I've only done like 2 videos on it. I told myself I wasn't even going to be active on TikTok, but I just decided to try it, like whatever. I'm on everything else, so. So yeah, go follow me there. I post a lot of things on those. I'm starting to post more like pictures and stuff on YouTube. It's just, YouTube is a little different. I guess you don't just like post on here. I don't know. I'm new to all this social media stuff. But sitting here talking to you guys, I've already done this many of them. Like just sitting here talking to you guys. And that, I'm not like being super productive, but I'm getting stuff done. It's quite a bit. Oh no, Nancy. Oh, good, Aubrey. Thank you. Yeah, I post a little bit more like personal stuff on Instagram, I guess. Not like I used to post like family stuff on there, but I don't anymore. Every now and then I will, like for my son's birthdays and stuff like that. But I've kind of tried to keep it more mainly for business. But it's definitely more, obviously the lives are more personal than anything because you just talk and basically you guys get my day-to-day lowdown on my life. I'm gonna go grab some more fleece. I'll be right back. I'm excited about the blankets that I'm doing. I'm doing some new blankets. They're so pretty. See, I can't believe we've been on for 3 hours. It doesn't. Rompers just take up so much fabric, and the fabric I use is very expensive. So like for somebody to buy a giant adult romper would be very expensive. And I don't know if anyone would pay for that. So I just haven't. It's 10:50 here. Where are you? Where are you from? Is it Dama? Almost done with these. Hi, how are you? Nope, I'm still on. I'm telling you, my lives are lengthy. I kind of just keep working and going until I can't see anymore. And then I'm like, all right, gotta go. Or if I'm like not doing a live and then I start messing up, or not even messing up, but just like stupid things. And you're like, oh my gosh, I can't even concentrate. It's time for bed. Oh, wow. Um, I honestly don't use my cutter machine. I use it all. I cut all of mine out by hand. And I explained that in my last video. And the reason I cut them out by hand is because I like mine to be very precise. And I know a cutter is very precise too, but when you're using a cutter with, say, even with my nursing pads, if I'm cutting a lot out at one time with my nursing pads, they still aren't always exactly the same measurement. I feel like with me doing it by hand, I can get the exact precise cutout every time. So like these match up perfectly. Sometimes my cutter won't cut them out perfectly and then I get frustrated. But I don't know. It just, again, it's all personal preference. I cut them out by hand. I know I have a ton of them and I should use a cutter, but I just don't. But I also have a really good cutter, a good rotary blade. I love my rotary blade. So these actually are the needles I use, or the pins I use. They're drips, and they are, can you guys see that? I don't know. Focus. Ultra fine, I'll read it to you. Ultra fine glass head pins. They're numbers 172. And they're size 22. They're 1 and 3/8 of an inch long. But these are my favorite ones. Those are the only pins I use. So back to cutting. Also, cutting is kind of relaxing to me, so I don't mind cutting. Certain things, I guess I would say. I don't know. The other day I did think about, because I have a Cricut machine, so it's not exactly a professional cutter, I guess. So I guess maybe my mind would change if I had a professional cutter, because eventually I'll probably need one. My hands probably will give out someday and I won't be able to cut as much anymore. So I have thought about that, and how if I did have a professional fabric cutter, it would be easier. But I don't even know like where to start with that. I do have an electrical cutter that I've shown in my videos before too. I use that for my blankets. It's super nice to cut out like 4 blankets at one time. So I do use that for my blankets. But again, when you get to the curved round edges, you can't really use an electric cutter on that because it doesn't get it very precise. And I'm all about precision. Good night, Latoya. I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, Rachel, the Cricut machine is sometimes, I mean, I love using it for like my vinyl and stuff, but when it comes to the fabric, it's fine, but it's not, I don't know, like when I cut my fleece, it leaves it kind of fuzzy. I don't know. And it's a fresh blade, so it's not the blade, it's just the machine. It's nothing bad about the machine. I love it. It's just meant for certain things, I guess. What fabric die cutter do you have, Diane? Good night, Cece. Thank you for being here. Yeah, for sure. That's why sometimes like I have to bring it out, plug it in, get it all set up, prepare the fabric, do all this and that. And then by the time I've done all that, I could have just cut it out by hand. So that's why I just do that. I think you've told me about this before, Diane, haven't you? AccuQuilt. Am I blurry to you guys, or is it just my screen? Okay. It's just me then. Or my crazy computer. This thing is like a beast over here. I'm getting a new one soon. I need to write that down. AccuQuilt. It's the one I'm debating on. I think I mentioned to you. Yeah, I really, really want to get my patterns custom made with clear acrylic so that it's durable. I don't know. I have a thing with clear acrylic. It's literally everywhere. Like all my stuff is clear acrylic. I love it. But it's expensive and I don't know like who would even make that for me. Who and how? Like I don't even have my patterns like drawn up or anything. I literally drew them myself. So how would I go about that? I don't know. When it comes to business stuff like that, I literally am clueless. I don't know how I would find, I just don't know anything about that sort of stuff. In the higher part of business, I guess I would say. I do good with what I do now, and that's good. That's all I do. Just like computers, I'm horrible with computers. AccuQuilt Go, I think. Tops and bobbins? I've never heard of them. See, you guys are teaching me tonight too. They can laser cut the acrylic. I'll have to, I'm gonna write that down real quick. I forget after I pin this. I think I have 3 or 4 more to go. Where's my pen? This is my jumbleness of notes. AccuQuote go. Tops and bobbins, they laser cut acrylic. Is that what you guys are saying? Do you just send it to them or what? Yes, this is from Hoop Mama. Yeah, my leggings, Rachel, I do all my leggings on the serger. Well, except for the waistband, obviously, but yeah. The up-to-date AQ Studio, the side fold up. So AQ Studio, okay. I'm gonna look into this, you guys. I'm so excited. Spotted Bear Knits, you said they make acrylic templates. Which one are you talking about? Or what business? I am so excited. I'm going to contact these people because that would be amazing if I could get acrylic templates for all of my patterns. I would be so happy. I've been thinking about how and where can I get my templates made in better material, because right now it's in vinyl. It's just in the clear vinyl, which is fine. It's worked, but I would rather have it like just solid. What video would you guys like to see me record next? I hate putting a new thing of pins in here because they poke me. Because they all stick up everywhere. I know, I feel the same way. I don't know. I was just going to ask you, Anne, if you were still on here. AccuCut is a sister company, and Ellison Education, SureCut, Dyes will work on the AQ Studio. This is all new language to me. I've never heard of these machines. I'm literally so excited to learn this. Like, when you were talking about dyes, I was thinking you were talking about like die cuts that I would use with my like Sizzix machine. Like my paper crafting. I had no idea you were talking about fabric cutting. Call me crazy. I have moments. And that was a moment. The pile is big. We have one more. Going to see if this will work. All right, guys, look at all these. Ugh. Did them all. That's a lot. I'm gonna go set these over here. This thing, what is going on here? So I'm using my new phone. How's the audio and picture on it? Is it clear? Or is it any different than my other phone? I don't know. Do you just use white thread or do you match thread to your cotton print fabric on Burp Plus? I literally just use white cotton. The only thing I switch my thread colors out for are my Baprins. When I made Baprins, because the bias tape was a different color, I would use that same color thread. That's the only thing in my shop that I would change colors out for. Everything else, I use white thread. If you have Tap Plastics near you, they do custom acrylic plexiglass. Tap Plastics. I never even heard of that either. Good night, Nikki. Karen, which one are you trying to do? I can fix it for you right now. What link are you trying to look at? Bib and pacifier video. Okay. Oh, good, Martha. I always love cleaning. It makes me feel so good. Good morning, Wendy. How are you? The studio will cut 10 layers of cotton at a time. However, I only cut 4 layers at a time. Yeah, I always like, even with the electric cutter, it says it could cut like however thick, but I only do a certain amount because I don't want to push my luck. They work just so differently from Oh, you're talking to her, Anne. Thank you. Very clear. That's good. Sounds clear. Yay. First live I caught, but it seems fine. Aw. Well, hopefully you'll catch more. I'm going to try to do more random ones during the day, too. Oh, good. I'm not even, like, screaming either. Sometimes I feel like I have to scream. Oh, thank you, Christina. I really hope I can help all you guys out with whatever knowledge I have. My under-the-counter shelves. Okay, let me look for that really quick. Let me try it and see if it works, and if it doesn't work, then you might just have to switch browsers. Sometimes it's a browser issue. Okay. Almost there. Okay, refresh your screen and then let me know if it worked or not. We've just kind of been chatting a lot and doing some inventory. Just kind of relaxing tonight a little bit. Yeah, my electric cutter is awesome. I love it. and it works really good. But like I said, I only use it for my blankets because it cuts straight lines. But anything that has a curve and whatnot, I just cut by hand. I don't use it. Oh no, Nancy. I'm so sorry. That's horrible. But we've all been there and we've all done it. I mean, you live and you learn. It happens to all of us. Diane, I need to look into it. I'm gonna look into that tomorrow. Like honestly, tomorrow's the day. Thank you, Cookie. I really enjoyed you being here. Are you heading out? I would maybe copy it and then paste it into a different browser. So if you're using Safari, maybe try, what's the other one? I can't even think of it right now. Google? Is that it? I don't know. Thank you, Nancy. Have a good night. Get some sleep. I think I might be heading out too because I'm super tired and I'm going to have a long day tomorrow. But I'm going to do a video for you guys tomorrow. I think I'm going to post a video about just finishing up this inventory. And then maybe, well, the bibs will be in there with that. So I don't know. We'll see what kind of mood I am in tomorrow and what video I want to make. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff to do tomorrow, so maybe I'll do a live, maybe I'll do a video, I'm not sure. So I'll post it though, so you guys will be there and you guys can know. But I appreciate you guys who all were here. If you're not following me on Instagram and social media, I'm on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, all under the same name. And also, whoever is here that wasn't here in the beginning, I wanted to tell you guys again that I just recently teamed up with Sewing Machines Plus. So that's where I got my 10 needle from, and my industrial sewing machine that is coming on Wednesday now, hopefully. So if you guys have any questions on any machines that you want to purchase or you're interested in, please let me know. I have a coupon code that I can give you guys, so it'll help you save a little bit of money. And I have a link too. So email me, message me, whatever you want to do, however you want to get a hold of me. But if you're interested, please contact me so I can save you guys some money. So yeah, let me know. I will be posting more videos on my sewing machine. It's here. I want to do an unboxing and a live with you guys on that because that's going to be super duper new for me. I've never used an industrial before, so I'm excited about that. So I'm going to be in some of your guys' shoes who are new to all this, because industrial, as I've heard, are way different than regular machines. So I'm going to have a learning curve for sure, but I'm excited about it. I'm not excited about having to do my waistbands differently because I don't have a free arm now, so that'll be different. I might even just keep my little brother machine right here by my side so I can do the waistbands with that until I figure it out and get a good rhythm going, because I've honestly tried practicing the new waistband way and it's just frustrating because I'm so used to doing it the other way that I don't want to give up yet, but I'm just like, oh my God, I do it so much faster the other way because I've been doing it like this for so long. So yeah, it's going to be a huge learning curve, but I'm in for it. I'm in it to win it, if that's what you want to say. But anyway, thank you guys so much for all the kind words, and I love you all so much, and I can't wait to have you guys on with me next Monday. What am I doing next Monday? Let me look real quick so you guys know. so you can prepare. So what's today, the 19th? So Monday the 26th, I'm going to be doing boy shorts. So I'm going to be doing my boy shorts with a drawstring. So if you want to get your supplies for that, you can prepare early. I used my cotton knit, but you can use any material you want, stretchy for shorts. You can also use cotton if you want. Some people use cotton. I don't prefer cotton, but it's up to you. You can do it if you want. And then obviously you'll need a pattern, which I will try to find one similar to mine and post it on there. But you'll need a serger and a sewing machine. And if you want to use a cover stitch, if you have it, I'll be using mine. You don't have to. You can hem it and then sew it with a regular machine. You don't have to use a cover stitch. And then you can do them with or without a drawstring. So, and when I mean, I use a faux drawstring. I don't actually have a casing for it that I do. I just literally have, say this is my drawstring I'm using. I literally just fold it in half and then I sew it on there so it like hangs, and they can tie it if they want. It's a faux drawstring. So it's just super cute. It's there for decoration. I just think it's super cute. So not much more to it. You basically just need your machines, some fabric, and a pattern, and your regular supplies. So that will be next Monday. Taking notes. So if you guys have any questions on it, please let me know. But you can pretty much just find any shorts pattern and we will go from there. But I'll post it under the community tab this week so you guys can be prepared. I'm going to start doing them a little bit earlier so that you guys have time to prepare for it better. I've been waiting to the last minute and I'm so sorry about that. I've just been so busy, and I'm going to get better, I promise. But I hope you guys have a good night, and I love you guys all so much, and I will talk to you guys next week or maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Bye guys.